I'm not downplaying January 6th, but you guys have downplayed your side. And it's time for you to admit that this is a dangerous, toxic, horrific movement, that you have not done what you need to do, let's say. I rest my case.
Well, Marie, he's pointing this whole thing at you. You have a chance to respond.
I felt that. So here's the difference. January 6th was encouraged by Donald Trump.
When he said peaceful?
When he said, go down to the Capitol, I'm going to be with you.
Be peaceful.
All of his.
Why do you avoid that?
Because, Greg, that does not erase the months of rhetoric where he was encouraging groups to protest the results of this election. No.
You hate the words that he says.
He took away the. You hate a lot.
No, I'm actually saying what he said.
You ignore many of the words he said. And to bring this to today, though, the comparison. One of the reasons these protesters are out in the streets is Joe Biden is standing squarely by Israel. Joe Biden, John Fetterman, Tony Blinken, these are the people in the administration who are standing so squarely by Israel that a lot of progressives are angry at them. So the difference is Donald Trump encouraged political violence from his supporters on January 6th.
No, he didn't.
And
Joe Biden prove that.
And Joe Biden is doing something these protesters are angry about because he's refusing to back away from Israel. And the one question he answered when he gave remarks last week was, have these protests changed your policy? And he said, no.
I don't think Trump ever encouraged people to get in other people's faces.
He
Democrats did. No, he didn't.
100%.
Show me that clip. All right, I got to go to Judge. We gave you your chance, Marie. Judge.
Look, you say that Joe Biden is refusing to change anything. Are you kidding? He's withholding the armaments. He is literally tying the hands of Israel behind their back. All of a sudden, Israel is being told how to fight a war that they didn't start, where 1,200 Israelis, mostly citizens, were massacred. And Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. And yes, we are on their side. And then Joe Biden comes out. The only time when you hear the truth is when he's not reading or mumbling on a teleprompter. And he's walking to Marine One and says, I condemn those who don't understand the Palestinians. No, Joe, when you read a teleprompter, you say things that are pro-Israel, but it's always too little, too late on virtually everything that he talks about. You know, Biden was so concerned about, white nationalism in the military. Remember that one? We're going to have an investigation. We're going to send the FBI. This white nationalism, we got to worry about that. And if you're black, you worry about that because those white nationals are after you. They have the investigation. There's no white nationalism in the military that is a problem for anyone. Is Joe Biden talking about let's find out what's going on with these kids? Who's funding them? Who's yelling guillotine, gallows? Who's yelling to hang people, to destroy a country, river to the sea? This is about the elimination of the Jews in this country. And Joe Biden is the weakest president we've had. And the whole idea that Rashida Tlaib comes out, she says Netanyahu should be arrested. Well, who the hell are you to say Netanyahu should be arrested? And they go on, and they talk about disproportionate smears for these kids who are being arrested. No, the disproportionate smears were January 6th, where people are in jail for 4 years when they simply trespassed.
All right, Dana, so many things I want to ask you, but I think you should I think you have something.
Well, I feel like one of the things missing from this segment is just talking about what Biden is basically saying to Hamas, which is, hey, guess what? You guys now are in even a better negotiating position. And how do we know that? Well, right after the announcement made by Secretary Austin about the cut of the arms cut to Israel, Hamas released a statement, basically said Hamas is only willing to discuss the offer that they want and nothing else. And so Israel, once again, is being asked to shoulder all of this, trying to do the right thing by the Biden administration. I think they should have just done this whole operation faster, sooner, because here's the other thing. Rich Goldberg at Defense of Democracies, Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, he said that this whole, I think, the story about Biden holds up munitions for Israel, it says he's talking about like dumb bombs, but actually there are guided specific munitions that are ready to go, that aren't part of the new one, that they're holding back as well. And that's according to FDD. I don't have a personal source at the Pentagon to tell me that, but Rich Goldberg, pretty good source on this stuff. So if you want targeted attacks against the terrorists, then you should give them those weapons so that they can do that and you can protect more people. The other thing is 400 to 500 trucks a day of aid are going into Gaza. And still, the people of Gaza have no
Nothing.
food. Because there's evidence that Hamas and UNRWA, some folks at UNRWA, the United Nations group that we pay for, are stealing the aid, and they're also then reselling it on the black market and making sure that Hamas is fed first.
Yeah.
So free Palestine from Hamas.
You know, I think I learned something about medicine that from John Fetterman that, you know, once you recover from a brain injury, you also recover from leftism. How strange.
Who knew?
I know.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.